All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December ZBA morning meeting for the town of Carmel. Board members' names are in front of you on the dais. We have Code Enforcement Officer Mike Carnazza with us tonight. The way we operate is I'll ask you to come up. I'll swear you in. We'll open it up to the public at one point. We have a very long meeting tonight, so I'm going to ask everyone to keep their comments in the public very brief. We're going to limit it to 3 minutes per person, all right? So please respect that. We have a big agenda tonight. Town Council Joe Charbonneau is with us as well, just walking in. And if you're in the public and you come up, please just write your name and your email address and home address on the dais. There's a sign-in sheet there. Will you please all stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we're gonna stay in order for the agenda in fairness. So our first application actually requested a holdover. So it's application number 1 is TTSHR LLC, and I'm gonna look for a motion.
Motion to hold it over?
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, application number 2 is for Richard Williams for variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for permission to construct a garage on vacant land lot without a principal use. The property is located at 18 Lakeside Road, Mahopac, and it's tax map 64.15-1-1. Anybody representing? You are?
Yes.
All right, state your name and address for the record.
Richard Williams, 23 Lakeside Road.
All right, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay, bring us through your application.
So I'm applying for a garage. Stop me if I tell you things you already know, but this is on Lakeside Road where there's 2 properties split by the road. So my house is on 23, and then across the street is 18. It's a separate lot, but they can't be split, and the whole road is this way. Most people have built garages on the spot across the street. That's also where we park our cars, and I'm looking to build one as well. My wife and I just moved from a large house on Austin Road. We're downsizing a little bit. This house is very small. There's no storage. So we're looking to build a garage for parking, for storage, and for a workspace upstairs. So I'm a musician.
There's a shed on the property now.
The shed is,
gonna get
yeah,
removed?
it's on the property where the garage would be, yes. Yeah.
All right, we did get one letter on this application. I'm just trying to look for it
It was
now.
about the bathroom.
There was more than one.
Yeah,
You got more
don't
than
have it,
one.
Michael. Anybody have it?
So you have,
It's-
okay.
Here it is.
Yeah, it's from Eric Goldfine regarding 21 and 19 Lakeside Road. Writing to express my concerns regarding the application submitted by Mr. Richard Williams for the property located at 1823 Lakeside. As the next door neighbor and owner of that adjacent parcel, I unfortunately cannot attend the upcoming meeting, which is why I'm submitting this letter. Having lived next to his property for 30 years and being its former owner, I'm very familiar with its layout, history, and limitations. While I fully support the construction of the garage at 18 Lakeside, I have serious reservations about the inclusion of a bathroom in the garage as outlined in the ZBA application. It goes on and on. Their concern is about the bathroom.
Yes.
Now, there's many situations like this opposite side of Kirk Lake. There's many situations that we've approved. We get the idea about a toilet and a sink, right? If there's a shower, obviously, it could spur into being a rental property. So I know that's probably what his concern is. So, again, just, it won't get approved, it won't get approved from the town unless Board of Health approves the toilet and the sink, so.
Right.
Just allay his concerns here.
Does that affect the setback, the variance, though, as well?
I'm sorry?
Is that affecting the variance, or?
No,
This
no,
is- yes.
that's,
They can condition it that you can't have a bathroom in it. That is something that they've done in the past, so it's something that could happen. That's what he's saying,
Yes.
that, they're.
But not at this step of the process? Is that-
Yes.
Oh, at this step of the process, okay. Well, can I respond to his concerns?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I understand his concerns. I've been there about 2 years, my wife and I, and it's a great community. Obviously, everyone there cares about the lake a lot, including ourselves. So I understand concerns about environmentalism and impact. I don't see how this would cause that. We're looking to have that space be, I'm a musician. I'm the band director at Mahopac High School for the past 18 years. I'm also a professional musician. That means I have to practice saxophone. I'm currently practicing in the house. My wife works from home a lot on business calls about 10 feet away. So this would provide a place to go practice. In terms of use of a bathroom, it wouldn't increase use. Like we wouldn't use the bathroom more because it's across the street. When you have to go, you have to go.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think it would increase use or impact in that regard.
And you would be tying this into the existing septic
Yes.
fields? Okay.
Yeah.
So again, it won't be, unless the county approves it,
Yeah.
it may or may not happen. So Mike will inspect that if we approve this tonight upon the construction.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any questions from the board on this one? Rose,
Is
you
it possible to move it back anymore? Off the
I
road?
mean, I guess it's on a slant. It would require a lot of excavating. All the other garages there are in line with where we're talking. And I think on the survey, where the road is physically and where it is on the survey are not the same. Like everyone's lawn and parking area currently on the whole street are in areas that are considered the road.
Yeah, it starts going
Yeah,
up.
the right-of-way
It's
is-
relatively
Yeah, yeah.
flat and then starts
Yep.
pitching up.
But the right-of-way is wider than the road, so the first couple of feet is not your property.
True.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, John, Will, any questions?
No questions.
Any input from the public or questions from the public on this application? All right, look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, application number 3, Gene Kusnier for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance to rebuild the front porch. The property is located at 4 Colonel Glen Drive, Carmel, New York, and it's tax map 54.16-1-17. The code requires or allows 40 feet to the front, and what's being provided is 34 feet. A variance of 6 feet is being sought. Is anybody here representing? Yeah, come on up. As soon as I call the application, step up to the podium, please. Yeah,
Robert Hoppy, and I live at 140 Tea Kettle Spout Road.
okay, you're representing the
Yes,
owner?
I'm the contractor. I
Okay.
have a signed.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Okay, bring us through the application, please.
So she has a current dwelling there, and she has a second-story entrance to her house, and it's a small 4x4 dwelling, and I'm just looking to rebuild it, and I'm just asking for a 6-foot variance back from the road.
Okay, what's the reason? Is it dilapidated? I saw pictures of it, I couldn't get out there to see it, but is it the existing stairwell?
Well, I want to rebuild it just because I want to make it safer for her husband has like late onset Parkinson's.
Oh,
And he has
sorry
to
to
come
hear
up through the garage and up there is a very small, so I've done jobs for her for a few years, and if I need to get furniture in her house, I have to pop sashes out in the back of her
Oh,
deck
wow.
to get like a couch up through her front door, so.
That's no fun.
I'm trying to make it a little bit more accessible and her life a little bit easier, basically.
Okay, it's not a very extreme variance, but there's no property she can purchase to bring it into conformance, right? Landlocked there. There's no septic or anything up front, is there?
No.
Okay, so it's not affecting that. All right, any questions? Will?
No
This
questions.
is your neighborhood, buddy.
No questions.
Sure?
No questions.
No questions.
No question?
All right, any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
luck.
You too.
Pictures. All right, application number 4, Claudia Rhodes for variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance to retain existing shed. Property is located at 116 Bullet Hole Road, Mahopac, New York, tax map 63.16-1-16. So the code requires or allows for the side yard 15 feet. What's being provided is 2 feet, so variance is needed for 13 feet. And then for the rear, the code requires 15. What's provided is 7 feet, and a variance is being sought for 8 feet. Good evening.
Good evening.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Claudia Rhodes, 116 Bullet Hole Road, Mahopac, New York.
All right, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
All right, can I remind you, just speak up into the microphone, because this is being recorded for minutes.
Okay.
So if you can speak clearly and distinct into the mic, everyone, this evening, that would be appreciated. All right, bring us through your application. Oh, so you have a couple sheds, right?
Yes, there was 2 sheds on the property when I purchased it. They were existing, they were already there. And I'm just looking for a variance to keep them there.
All right, so I
They're-
guess it never got picked up on a title search, that they were there and not conforming.
That's correct.
Yeah, so, I did look at this one. They're pretty much set back, and there's some good enough screening, and your property kind of slopes up, right? It's uphill.
Right. Yes.
So it's not really like that close. I don't know if anybody else got to see it, but, and then it looks like it's wooded behind as well, so you're not affecting anybody behind you. I mean, the numbers aren't too drastic, but there's no other property you can purchase to bring it into conformance, correct?
No,
Yeah, you're landlocked there, right? So, how long have they been there for?
I'm not sure. Years. I know they've been there since I've had the house since 2006.
Okay, so at least 8 years that you're aware of, but,
They look like they were built with the house.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, any input or questions from the board?
No questions.
No
You
questions?
guys good
You
down
used a
there?
shed, right?
Yeah. Outdoor furnitures.
Tractors, equipment, lawnmowers,
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
that fun stuff. All right, any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night. Our paperwork here. All right, application number 5, John Gukian for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance to add an addition to the house. The property is located at 78 Lakeside Road, Mahopac, New York, and tax map 64.18-2-6. Good evening.
Good evening.
So what you're looking for is the front, or the code requires the frontage to be 25 feet. What's being provided is 20.6 feet, so you need a variance of 4.4 feet.
Yeah, that's correct.
State your name and address for the record.
John Guckian, 78 Lakeside Road.
Okay, and raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Sorry if I mispronounce your name.
Guckian.
Guckian, okay. Bring us through your application, please.
Sure. So my wife and I here tonight, we have a small house right now. We're looking to put an addition on. We both work from home. I work 3 jobs, and we're home all day long. We're looking to start our family, and we have nowhere else to go in terms of being able to go up on the addition. We want to live in the house and need to live in the house. Our home is our job also, and we're looking to go to the right. There's currently a garage there, and we're basically replacing the garage and going up.
So you're
in
making
front.
it part of the house. then
You're making it part of the
combined.
house, exactly.
Okay.
And
Makes
the
sense.
variance is going to be on the front right corner to kind of square it off.
Yeah, you have a corner lot, right?
Yeah, it's a corner lot, exactly. The septic's all the way on the other side of the house. And I spoke with all the neighbors already. I got 3 letters that they're all in support of us. I'm actually on the board for Kirk Lake as well. We love the community, we want to stay here, and we're applying for the variance so that we can do the project.
Okay, just for the record, we have support letters from Kevin Wright, who's at 77 Lakeside, Judson Steer, who's at 85 Lakeside, and Wilson Solano, who is at 26 Lakeside, so.
Wilson is directly to the right, looking at the house. Kevin is directly in front, and then Judd I share the well with.
Okay. Popular road tonight, Lakeside.
Seems so.
All right, there's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance. You're landlocked
sir.
in the corner there, so. All right, board members, any questions on this application?
No questions.
John,
Looks like a good design.
Thank you.
girls?
Looks good.
Rose, come on, you're quiet tonight.
It's
What's
a
going on? You feeling all right? You got a temperature?
I live there
It's a
too.
very
You
small
take very nice
variance.
care of your properties, so
Very, very
it's only going to
small.
improve
Yeah,
things.
Wait.
it looks good.
The night is
You just-
young.
Okay, I got you. All right, anybody in the public wish to speak or be heard on this
I'm becoming
application?
Rose Junior,
Ma'am,
partner in crime.
please come on up to the podium. Just do me a favor and step aside, let her
Yeah, no
speak
problem.
to the podium. Just to remind you, when you're done speaking, just, and if you can, keep it to 3 minutes if you would, please.
My name is Melissa Tedesca. I
And what's
live
your
at
address? I'm sorry.
3 Shore Lane.
Okay.
Our,
Let me swear you in. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
So our property is adjacent to their property.
Just do me a favor and speak up into the mic.
Our property is next to theirs. And my only concern would be, we've had a couple issues where he's tried to encroach on our property already. He's had an excavator come and level part of my property to his property. He has tried to take down a tree on our property. He has dumped his grass clippings on our property. So I just don't want any more issues coming to my property.
All right, unfortunately, I mean, those are not issues that we can address, that would be police matters, right? Or also you can call the building department if somebody's encroaching on your property, right? Mike, I think, right, they can lodge a complaint with your office.
Yes.
So if that happens going forward, I would recommend you do that. But, you know, it has no bearing on whether this
Okay.
would be approved or not. But I respect your thoughts, but I would recommend you go that route, either through the police or the building department, if something
Okay.
like that continues.
Can you just sign in?
All right?
Yep.
Yeah, please. Just put your address and email address. Anybody else wish to be heard on this application? All right, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to
the hearing.
close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
And I will be recusing myself.
All right, we're, yeah. We're just gonna pause for a couple minutes while we get this set up. They're coming in via Zoom call, Teams, Zoom, whatever.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, hold on a second. Vinnie's got to set something up with the
Okay, we're ready to
controls.
go.
Good to go? Okay. All right, this is Glenacom, AKA Glenacoma Lake, for variation of section 156-62.0.2, seeking a variance for permission to locate a public utility wireless telecommunications facility at the site. The property is located on Walton Drive, Mahopac, and it's tax map 87.5-1-90. All right, the code requires or allows 50-foot maximum in height. What's being provided is 120 feet in height, and a variance required of 70 feet, foot height variance, so. All right, I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Gaudioso, if you would, give us your name and address, please, for the record.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Robert Gaudioso with the law firm of Snyder and Snyder on behalf of the applicants Verizon Wireless and Homeland Towers. This is an application that was previously before the board. It was in a different location on the property, approximately 300 or 400 feet to the north. The denial resulted ultimately in a federal court consent order. Since that point, as part of the consent order, we filed an application with your board for a height variance, relocating the facility, as I mentioned, approximately 300 or 400 feet closer to the power lines. We've lowered the height of the facility from the original 140 feet to 120 feet, and we've proposed the facility to resemble a monopine stealth structure. We also filed applications with the planning board for site plan and special permit approval. It's my understanding the planning board has declared their intention to be lead agency under SECRA, and if this board consents to that, this board would have to wait for the planning board to actually issue a SECRA determination before taking action on this application. As part of our filing, we did submit a number of documents. The original record is part of this application, but we supplemented the record with a memorandum in support. We supplemented the record with a wetland delineation letter showing that no local, federal, or state wetland permits or approvals are required. That was confirmed by the town attorney, and we submitted that confirmation as well. We did submit the full environmental assessment form. We submitted an RF justification report with exhibits that supplemented the prior radio frequency justification report. We submitted an FCC compliance report, which shows that the facility is in complete compliance with respect to radio frequency exposure under the federal regulations. We submitted a co-location commitment letter that the facility will be designed and made available for co-location to avoid the proliferation of future towers in the area. We submitted an FAA lighting determination to confirm that no FAA lighting or marking would be required. We submitted a structural design letter, a visual resource assessment, a survey, and ultimately the site plan as well. Since that time of the initial filing, we also submitted concurrence for the New York State Historic Preservation Office that there would be no impact on historic or archaeological resources. We've submitted some additional line of sight profiles that were requested by the planning board based on a site visit that we conducted with them, as well as a stormwater pollution prevention plan and some changes to the site plan, including additional landscaping. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board has with respect to what we submitted or with respect to the application.
Okay, this is a drastic turn from what was submitted previously, and I think a lot of the concerns may have been allayed to a certain point from the neighbors. I'm going to open it up to the board members if there are any questions. It was a full package, a lot of information, a lot to read. I don't know if there's any questions on anything that pertains to this case. So we'll open that now. You guys good? All right, we've got a short board tonight. Rose has recused herself. So at this point, I'm going to open it up to the public, but I'm going to remind people, please keep it to 3 minutes per speaker. Just put your name and address on the paper that's on the dais, and if anyone wants to come up, please come on up in order. Just state your name and address for the record, and I'll swear you in.
Rob Cavallaro, 49 Walton Drive.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
Good evening. A couple of weeks ago, I know this is for the variance, they're seeking a 70-foot variance, right? I sent in a letter to the planning board and to the zoning board a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to know if any of my questions were addressed, if any of my questions or concerns were sent to the attorney, Mr. Gaudioso, or anybody else, because I just don't know more or less when some of these concerns are going to be addressed, and I don't know if tonight is the night to do it, if it's next Thursday night, but I do have a few concerns regarding radio frequency and, and construction. So do I bring that up now? Again, my
Yeah,
letter
because,
was submitted to you guys,
You
and I
know,
wanted
I
some
know we want to
feedback.
keep it limited to a certain
Right,
time,
right.
but,
That's why I drafted this to you guys, so that maybe some answers might be prepared already for tonight, or maybe they might not be.
I don't think any answers are prepared from the board, but we'll, we can address it to the applicant, correct, Joe? And they can,
So the planning board, I'm familiar with your letter. The planning board did begin to address and actually question the applicant at the last proceeding before the planning board regarding the construction area. What was the other issue that you had?
All right, so one of my concerns was the radio frequency from a report.
So-
That was part of the application?
Both, absolutely.
Okay.
And both would be a permissible inquiry at the planning board.
Okay, so we're not bringing that up tonight.
You can bring it up, but I just don't think it's really in the wheelhouse.
I
of
just
the
want to make sure that
ZBA.
Mr. Gaudioso has the opportunity to possibly just give us, some answers, some
I
feedback
think
based
some,
on the questions
some
that
of
I have.
those items, most of those items are going to be planning board
Okay,
purview. Our purview tonight is only for this variance.
70-foot variance.
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that everyone got a copy of my letter so that I addressed some of the concerns that me and my fellow neighbors on the street and in the neighborhood
Okay,
had.
that's a confirmation, Mike, that that's been received?
Yeah, I know I saw it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll get some feedback on that.
I would think.
I don't want to waste your time tonight. I see you have a booked agenda tonight, but we definitely want some of these, some concerns
That would be more
addressed.
so at the planning board meeting.
Okay, which is next Thursday night at 7:30.
Right?
I believe it's next Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's next Thursday night at 7:30. And you guys, are you guys going to be, so are you granting the variance? Are we still in talks about
No,
this? It's going to go back to the planning board?
The planning board hasn't claimed secret on it yet, so
Okay.
we have 60 days to vote on this, so most likely not going to be voting on this tonight, but we're going to hear the
After the planning board meeting?
It will ultimately be after at least the next planning board meeting, because we haven't made a secret declaration yet, which has to occur before they can vote. So the goal of the ZBA tonight is to potentially close the public hearing and then issue a decision down the road.
Okay, so as far as a public hearing for the 70-foot tower, my neighbors and I, we don't want it. So you guys do what you have to do, I guess, obviously, to get this going. But, so it's safe to say that I can bring up these remarks next Thursday to the planning board?
Absolutely. Well, it's at a public hearing.
Well,
Which
wouldn't
we're not
that,
having a public hearing.
I think that is a public hearing.
I don't think it is.
We received letters from the town and from Snyder and Snyder stating that next Thursday.
Rob, do you know if that's on for a public hearing?
It is on for a public hearing,
Okay,
that's correct.
so there you go, yep.
Okay, so, all right, then that's that.
And Rob, is that next Thursday?
Yes,
Correct.
December 12th, 7
Correct.
PM.
So yeah, that would be a perfect inquiry on the 12th,
Okay, perfect.
yep.
All right, thank you, board.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can state your name and address for the record. Just
McCormick.
remind you to move the mic down to your mouth, so.
Because I'm shorter than him, is that what you're saying?
I didn't say it, you did.
Todd McCormick, 43 Walton Drive, Mahopac, New York.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask why Rosa recused herself?
I don't recall the reason, but where'd she go? She stepped out.
Nothing to do with this?
No, I think she has a conflict of interest
Okay.
with, for a certain reason, but obviously that's why she would recuse herself for a conflict.
Just wanted to, Mr. Guardioso was very diligent in pointing out all the things that he submitted, for, all the paperwork and all the proper procedure that he went through. But I thought it was important, I'm hopefully that everyone here is very familiar with this case and the start of it. I'm
Yep.
not sure if everyone is, but I would, if I could, I would like to remind you guys that, it's just kind of start from the beginning. I'll make it quick though, but.
Please.
This is several years ago, and, he's talking about he made all these, proper submissions and followed the procedure. None of that he completely bypassed a number of years ago when this whole process started. And the only reason it was discovered is because we saw them start to do the work at the site, and then we hired an attorney, and then we money came out of our own pocket, quite a lot of money, and we went to federal court. And even the federal court agreed with, a federal judge, agreed with us that they completely bypassed the system, meaning both boards, you guys, they absolutely disrespected this town and, us as a community and both boards by what they did. And, the reason they got away with it is a whole nother subject that we'll get into now, but, so I just want to make sure you're all aware of that, you know what I mean, that, they're making it seem like, oh yeah, we're doing everything right, but they completely tried to sneak this one in the past, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And because we spent so much money trying to stop them, even the federal judge agrees with us that they did it the wrong way, and hopefully you guys are aware of that, and, so I just want to make sure that everyone, doesn't make any quick decisions and really thinks more about the, the community and us as your neighbors, as opposed to a corporate, group that is obviously doing this, has nothing to do with public safety, all this nonsense. It's about money, you know what I mean, in my unprofessional opinion. So, I just, hopefully you guys can keep all this stuff in mind and not make any quick decisions. And obviously, like Rob said, my wife and I and my kids and the whole neighborhood were completely against this. That's a ridiculous variance, you know what I mean? It's not like it's 10 feet. We're gonna see this through, as we look down the end of the street, we're gonna see this tower, you know what I mean? We're gonna see all the bad stuff that goes along with it, the noise, the lights, besides all the construction that it's gonna take to get it done, so. Please take that into consideration. Appreciate you guys listening to me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am? Just, did you write your name and address, sir? Please. Now, you're going to really have to turn the mic down.
Don't laugh.
State your name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Annette Romito, and I live on 210 Lakeview Court, Mahopac, New York.
And raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Just speak into the mic, please.
Right.
You can turn it towards your mouth.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I've been part of this cell tower, as they discussed, and the two gentlemen that just spoke. I'm in agreement with everything they said. I'm very upset that this new application has been submitted. I know by law you have to entertain it. However, there will be disruption to our residents and, radio frequency radiation. This is a small road. They'll come through my street to get access up to Walton Drive. I live right along Tea Kettle Spout Lake. But the other addition, since it's now 5 years with this cell tower submission, now we are now in the evacuation zone for the lithium battery, as well as the for the lithium battery farm.
What should be a non-issue, the town already squashed that.
They squashed tier 2, not tier 1.
Yeah, but the small ones are the ones that you put on a house or a business, not that they do a big grid scale battery storage.
It's supposed to be like 6 or 7 megawatts or something?
No.
The small ones? No?
The small one, I think it's 500.
All right, regardless,
I don't wanna
that's
guess.
that's not
Okay,
an
I
issue,
don't want
that's
to
not an
get
issue
into
here
it,
tonight.
but, so there won't be an evacuation plan with that, if that should go on fire or anything like that?
The issues concerning the,
Lithium battery,
have nothing to do with this application.
nothing to do with it. I was more concerned about, having double issues, a
Well,
cell phone tower.
But they're mutually exclusive.
And now a fire possibility. Okay, that's fine. But I'm still agree with Rob and the other gentleman that spoke. The community is not in agreement with this. I know a lot of people didn't come out, and it took me a lot of effort to come out tonight. with the weather conditions, but I needed to have my voice spoken, and I appreciate you listening to me.
Absolutely.
And thank you.
You're welcome. Just put your name and address on there. Anyone else wish to speak? Anybody? You guys good? Back there? Sir?
Matt Roslin, 59 Center Road.
Just, yeah, just speak to the mic.
yeah.
You can move it up to your mouth. There you go.
Matt Roslin, 59 Center Road. I just want my opposition on record for the cell tower.
Let me swear you in. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes,
Thanks.
that's it.
You just, okay, just want to voice your opposition?
Opposition on record.
Okay. Appreciate that. Anybody else? Good evening. State your name and address for the record, please.
Mona Brahimi, 250 Union Valley Road.
Just turn the mic down to your mouth, please. Yeah, please repeat that.
Mona Brahimi, 250 Union Valley Road.
All right, raise your right
I want
hand.
my opposition stated.
Raise your right hand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Okay.
I just wanted my opposition put on the record. I'm against this totally. I'm scared for our health. We have enough health issues. We don't need more radiation in this town.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Just put your name and address and email address,
Yes.
if you have one. Anyone else wish to speak on the application? Sir? State your name and address, please, for the record.
Carl Koenigsman, 98 Kiora Boulevard in Mahopac.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
I have an issue with, there is a matter of financial benefit from this cell tower. And the housing complex that's going to be getting the financial benefit this is on the extreme edge of that property, of their property. They're not going to see it. It won't be a factor at all for them. Yet my neighbors, it's going to be practically in their side yards, front yards, and backyards. And I don't even live in that area, but I've been involved with this since the very beginning. And this is horrible. This should not be allowed. This should not happen. This cell tower is not necessary. And again, as Rob mentioned, they're benefiting, or maybe he didn't mention it, somebody else mentioned it. There is financial benefit coming from this, not only to that housing complex that's not going to be affected by this at all, but the bottom line is money here. So I totally oppose this cell tower being located anywhere near that neighborhood. That's
Okay.
it.
Thank you. All right, anyone else wish to be heard? Going once, going twice, going 3 times, sold. All right, we're gonna move on, we're gonna close the public hearing on this. I'll look for a motion on that, right, Joe?
You can close the public hearing
Yeah,
at
we're
this
gonna close
point.
the public hearing at this point, so I'll look for a motion from one of you guys.
Motion to
Anyone?
close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Forgot what I had to say.
So, like Joe mentioned before, we're reserving our discussion on this, or deliberation, until the planning board makes the secret determination. And then we have, I think it's 60 days, right, Joe, to decide. So this will
Correct.
not be voted on this evening, so,
So this matter will be on the January agenda for the
yes.
zoning board as well.
Yeah, because we're not going to make the February, would be too late. So,
Correct.
okay. All right,
Thank you so
application.
much for your time this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sorry about you, forgot about you back there. All right, application number 7 for Cole, Vinnie, do you need to do anything to switch off? Or you could do that, we can move on, right? Okay. Application number 7 for Cole Partenza for variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance to adjust a lot line. The property is located at 257 Daisy Lane in Carmel, New York, and it's tax map 77.19-1-16. So the code requires or allows 120,000 square feet for a lot. What's provided is 22,959, and a variance required of 97,041 square feet. The second requirement is a lot width of 200. What's being provided is 51.8, so a variance being sought of 48.2 inches, feet. And then the third requirement is 20% lot area change. What's provided is 21.6%, so a variance of 1.6% is being sought. Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
All right,
John, just so you're aware,
the second application.
7 and 8, okay.
Yeah, we know the second application is tied in with this one. It's a lot line adjustment between the two properties. But let me get your guys' information, name and address, please.
Steve Partenza, 4 Mancini Drive in Somers, New York. I'm representing my son, Cole.
Okay, and you, sir, you're gonna be speaking?
John Miller, 267 Daisy Lane.
You're the next application. Okay, so I guess we'll take you guys together, but reserve discussion for the first application. So let me swear you both in. Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. All right, bring us through, what's the reasoning for this one?
What is the reason?
What's the reason for the lot line adjustment?
Oh, as discussed, we just increased the size of the front yard to access the backyard. There was a very tight lot line when it was built, so we're purchasing the property next to it just to give us some access to the rear of the property, that's all.
Oh, okay.
We're not building anything, we're not, everything is built.
So, lack of not having it up there, what, which house is what?
This is me.
So this is Partenza, and that's Miller?
This is
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's Partenza.
All right, so this is the piece here that's being adjusted.
So as you can see where the lot line was, they have no access to his back property. So we.
Gentlemen, can you take one of the handheld mics with you?
Oh.
Yeah, so that piece, as you can see, his property line was right up against the house to where he had no access to this piece of property in the back. So by giving him this lot that was kind of an empty little lot between us, we made an agreement on this to change that lot to give him access to the back.
All right. Get lawnmowers, everything back there, right?
Well, there's well and septic, God forbid, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. In the front.
Sorry?
The well and septic's in the front?
The well is in the front, the septic
And they gave them this.
It's in the back.
There's no access for any trucks. The house was already permitted and we built.
All right, you know what, go back and, you gotta speak into the mic, because it's being recorded for minutes.
So like I stated earlier, we permitted and we built the addition on the original house. So there's no additions or anything that's going to manipulate that property.
Okay.
It's just a boring move to the right, that's all.
All right, so any questions on this application? Any input from the public on this application? All right, I'll look for motion to close.
Motion to close.
All right, so the next application is you, Mr. Miller, code, or it's variation of 156, section 156-15, seeking variance to adjust lot line to give 4,958 square feet to the neighbor. The property is located at 267 Daisy Lane, Carmel, and is known as tax map 77.15-1-2. So the code requires or allows 120,000 square feet. What's being provided now is 86,365 square feet. So a variance of 33,635 square feet is being sought. Okay, and I already swore you in, so basically it's one given to the other.
Pretty
So a
much.
simple lot line
Pretty
adjustment,
much.
that's accommodated.
The people that used to own the house had two garage doors, one to go in one side and out the back.
Really?
But a small little, I mean, you couldn't get a machine back there if you wanted to, but.
Okay.
So we've taken that out of the question now.
Okay. Any input from the public on this application? It's one and the same, basically, so I forgot to ask the board members, anything?
No.
You guys good, makes sense?
It's great to see two neighbors working together.
Yeah, very nice. Unusual.
We want to put a cell tower there, that's
Don't go there. Don't go there. All right, I'll look for a motion to close the public hearing on this
Motion to
application.
close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Good lot lines make good neighbors.
I can ask you, what's the next process? Do we have to get deeds?
Stick around tonight, or you can go back and watch it on TV. I always forget the channel numbers on Verizon.
95 and 24.
24 on the other network,
Verizon.
whatever it is, Verizon. Or you can call tomorrow, and is Dawn in tomorrow? No.
For a while, but you could call me too.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have, if you get the variances, you're gonna have your architect engineer put it on the plat that you got the variances, and then you come back to planning to finalize your.
Another meeting? One other meeting?
At least one.
One more meeting?
At least one.
Okay.
Public hearing.
We love seeing
Get your tax dollars hard at work, guys. All right, application number 9, Danielle and Allison Brown for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance to locate a pre-made shed in a non-conforming location. The property is located at 18 Frederick Street, Mahopac, New York, tax map 64.19-1-62. So the code requires or allows 10 feet from the rear. What's being provided is 2 feet from the rear, so a variance of 8 feet is being sought. And then from the side, 10 feet is required. Same situation, 2 feet from the side is provided, so another variance of 8 feet is being sought. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Mary Scott, the architect for Allison and Daniel Brown,
Okay, what's your address?
33 Fairways Drive, Mount Kisco, New York.
Okay, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
So I think you got the paperwork that I had put in. You know, although it sounds like a big variance, the fact is this property has sheds on both sides, you know, in the next door neighbor to the east and the west. And although we're 2 feet from one side and 2 feet from the lake side, we're actually, from the actual lake, we're 16 feet to the stone retaining wall at the lake. So, can I bring this up?
Yeah, just bring the handheld mic with you if you're going to continue to speak. There you go.
You have this paperwork.
Yeah, we do. So just, I'll leave it here in front of everybody.
Right, and so that's the shed?
Yeah.
Proposed shed.
I see you're trying to keep it in line like what your neighbors have or what their neighbors have, being close to the lake line, but we always like to try to work these in favor of the town to a certain degree. You know, you haven't built it yet. I don't know how you guys feel, but I always like to move this so it's a little more conforming, all right? Our job is to grant the minimum out there. So if it's not built yet or not in place, it's kind of easier for us to do that and impose our will, if you will. So, I mean, I would say, can we move this thing inboard 1 foot or a foot and a half more from either side? That's just my opinion. You guys might have something different.
4 feet?
Propose something? I mean, I propose
Ma'am,
that we.
I think the jet moved before you turn the microphone off.
Oh.
Usually you flip it on.
Is it on now?
Yes.
Yeah, there it goes.
Okay. I can understand moving it another, say, 2 feet from the neighbor, but the fact is, from the lakeside, as I said, I mean, we have a clear 16 feet to a stone wall, so I feel like we have a lot of buffer there compared to many of the other sheds on the
The
lake.
other neighbors.
The neighbors right there, and then also
I'm
many
just thinking
others.
practicality-wise too, can you fit a lawnmower back there in 2 feet, right, to cut the grass or?
Well, there's going to be more than 2 feet because this is all grass behind it. It's 2 feet to the
Oh, it's to that
property
line,
line.
okay.
Property line.
Okay,
But, you know, there's actually quite a bit of property there.
I could see that.
So maybe not the rear, but the side?
Side, yeah,
Right.
maybe we bring the
So
side
move it
into
like 2
4
feet
feet.
over from the side, that,
Yeah,
and that would give us, you know,
Okay,
that,
would
the
you be
4
willing
feet
to
on
do
the
that?
side. Excuse me?
would you be willing to do that?
Yes.
All right, let me find the original application.
Make the change right here and
Okay.
So be it.
What's the name again? Bradford? So there's no property they can purchase to bring it into conformance, right?
No, everybody's,
Landlocked.
yeah. Nobody wants to give up lakefront.
I hear that. All right, so just sign there. I changed it from, it's gonna, 10 foot is required. What's gonna be provided is 4 feet, so a variance of 6 feet is now gonna be.
From the side, yeah.
On the side?
Yeah, side.
Okay.
Provided 4 feet
Do
from
you
the
need me to
side.
sign it?
Yeah, it's just, I put a line there, just a. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Board members, any other questions? No. I mean, it doesn't look that out of character. In fact, I know somebody who lives along that side there might know a little bit about it, right? All right, you can take that back. Anybody in the public have any input or questions on this application? Okay, look for a motion to close this hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
What were the final numbers?
The
4
side
foot.
is gonna be
4
4,
and 6. 4 provided, 6 variance? Is that right?
4 provided, 6 variance.
From the side?
Side,
Yeah.
yeah.
From the side.
Rear makes sense because there's more property going back.
Changed it and initialed the
Yes.
application? Thank you.
Okay, application number 10 for Carlos Cosme, for a variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance to legalize existing storage building. The property is located at 85 Fairmount Road, Mahopac. It's tax map 65.14-1-40. So the code requires or allows 15 feet. What's provided is 2.7 feet. Variance of 12.3 feet is being sought. And then the rear yard is 15 feet. What's provided is 7.4 feet, so variance of 7.6 feet is being sought. Good evening, Mr. Besharat.
Good evening, William Besharat, representing the Cosmos for this situation.
Will you raise your right hand, sir?
Yes, I will.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you.
As you see in the survey submitted, this building, we call it a building because it exceeds the definition of a shed, but it is basically an oversized shed. This building existed for a long time, and then eventually the town sent them a letter saying that they don't have, yeah, Dennis got involved, and we don't have to talk any more than that. We looked at it, and I'm sure members of the board probably has gone and took a look at it. It's tucked in the back, it's secured, it doesn't create any hardship on anybody in the neighborhood. Everybody in the neighborhood have sheds set in the back. This way the backyard will be clear.
They talk to the neighbors?
What?
They talk to the neighbors?
Yes, as far as I know, they spoke with both neighbors, they know them, and they had no objection to it.
And there's some green, I think there's some greenery back there, evergreen.
Yes,
so it
there
kinda shields it.
is a buffer in between them.
Willie, there's no property they can buy right there?
No, there's no property available, you know, the location of the shed is really a perfect location that serves the purpose that it's intended for. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't create a hardship on anybody, it's also in conformity with the neighborhood,
How
so it
long,
does.
how long's it been there?
Quite a while, quite a while. I mean, I don't know the exact date of when it was.
It looks like it, but
I
it
think
looks
they
like it's in good
purchased the
shape.
house that way.
And it matches the house too, which is
It does, yeah. It's
unusual.
well maintained, the property is well maintained and well kept.
Yeah, it looks good. Any input from the board members on this?
Looks
Okay.
good.
All right, any input from the public on this application? You sure? Over there, you good? Yeah, I'm talking to you. All right, well, thank you. I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. You got the next one too, right, Will?
Yes, the next two.
All right, application of Dean J. East Lake Realty Corp., variation of section 156-15, seeking variance to reconstruct the roof over the front of the building, change to the facade. The property is located at 156 East Lake Boulevard, Mahopac, sorry, tax map 76.3-1-14. South side yard, the code is requiring 25 feet. There's 2 provided, so a variance of 23 feet is being sought. North side yard is 25 feet is what the code requires. Was provided as 3.5 feet, so variance of 21.5 feet is being sought. And the front yard requirement is 40 feet. What's being provided is 11.45 feet, and a variance of 28.55 feet is being sought. Do I have that right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna swear you in, I did already. Bring us through this one.
This is Cunningham, old Cunninghams or
Flanagan's,
or whatever you want to call it. It depends. Why, what is it?
LeBon V, Joel, remember that one?
Come on, let's go back a
LeBon
little
V?
bit further than that. With the, was it the white elephants or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they purchased the property and they would like to give it a nice commercial looking facade. We're not creating any additional space, usable space. This is strictly for aesthetics of the building. But because as it exists, is non-conforming to the setbacks, and we altered pre-existing non-conforming, therefore we need a variance for it. We submitted a rendering or an elevation of what we visualize the building to look like.
Yeah, Willie, I did see that, but I wasn't sure, this is proud of what's there now? Because now you have a pitched roof coming down.
We're gonna build it in the front of the pitch roof. We keep in the same setbacks, we're not
So the
increasing
same
encroachment.
elevation
The
that's
same
existing is
elevation,
going
yes.
straight up now instead?
Exactly.
From that stone,
Okay?
straight up.
We're doing it that way. Like I said, we are not changing the encroachment in any shape or form. It's remained the same. The building, as you see, we're trying to make it look really nice and presentable. Instead of the shape that it's in right now, it has been like that, dilapidated for a long time. With this said, like I said, we're not building anything, so therefore we cannot locate it somewhere else where it doesn't need a variance. There's no property available. It was said before, it's lakefront, it's prime. There's no property available. The neighborhood is basically commercial, so it's really not creating any impact, a negative impact on anybody in the neighborhood. It's gonna blend in and confirm. It's gonna become a nice building and a good addition to our community.
All right, just, I was concerned you were coming out proud, because it looked like
No.
there were columns.
We
so-
are,
but
no,
that's
we're
good,
doing it
because
right, exactly.
Parking is tight
Those
there as it
columns
is.
are stucco trim. They're not
Gotcha.
really columns. They're
Okay.
just to give it more three-dimensional, camera trick.
Is it new ownership now?
Yeah.
That's okay. All right, board members, any questions or input?
Looks good, no questions.
The existing canopy that extends out, does that remain, that
That's gonna
canopy?
remain exactly, and that's what we depicted on the drawing. That's what's existing there.
That's the rain guard.
No further questions.
And it'll continue to be a restaurant?
Yes, it will continue. And it's gonna be a great one this time.
Another Italian restaurant? So
I don't know.
We hope not.
I'm kidding around.
It's gonna be an American restaurant, including Italian food. We have a good Italian cook involved in this deal.
Claudine, anything?
No.
Okay?
All right, any input from the public on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, and the last item.
Okay, your three's a charm, huh? All right, application Valeria Jaramillo for variation of section 156-15, seeking variance to legalize existing deck and above-ground pool. Property is located at 90 Archer Road, Mahopac, tax map 85.8-2-5. Code requires or allows 15 side yard setback. What's provided is 13 feet, and a variance being sought of 2 feet. All right, bring us through. Are you going to be speaking?
This is Joe Pataki from my office. He's my associate, and
Okay. Are you going to speak?
very familiar. Probably will
I'm going to
speak
swear
on
you in.
this.
Just state your name and address for the record. You can grab that other mic if you want.
Joe.
I think she might have turned it off.
Joe Pataki, 266 Sheer Hill Road, Mahopac, New York.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. All right, you want to bring us through it?
Well, this is, you want to take it over?
The homeowners constructed an above-ground pool with a deck in 2021. They were under the impression that the contractor at the time was handling everything legally. Turns out that they weren't. So this summer, they were contacted to legalize the deck. As we were preparing the plans to legalize the deck, we realized that it's only 13 feet off the side yard instead of 15, which is not a substantial variance. It's also, you know, pretty common scenario, you know, in the neighborhood to have an above-ground pool and a deck. And the whole area is fenced in. It's not visible from the road. Even the closer neighbor that's on the 13-foot side, there's a nice white fence there to,
And bushes, it looks like.
And it's almost that grade going up and it's very aesthetically pleasing for the pictures. There's no property you can purchase to bring it into conformance, right?
No.
Landlocked. What would be the cost to relocate it if we made you do it?
Well, this is an above-ground pool, really. It's
Just
that
establishing a
it's
record.
a
What
reconstruction
will
one,
be the
it's very
cost?
substantial.
So
No.
a couple thousand?
No, it's gonna be a lot more than that.
Okay. New footings?
Remove all that.
It's
put
really
it back.
dismantling and put in a new pool.
So I don't think we'll do that to you for 2 feet, but, you know, just putting it out there. All right, any questions from the board?
No.
Will, come on, you're quiet tonight.
No questions.
Thanks.
I like
It's well
All
done.
right, any input from the public on this application? All right, look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, you sure you don't have any more, Will? You good?
Thank you, have a nice evening, and Merry Christmas and
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Holidays.
Happy holidays.
Christmas.
We'll talk to you soon.
Good luck to your new place, guys.
Don't make it a fancy restaurant.
Application number 13, Jose and Venus Estevaya for variation of section 156-15, seeking a variance for addition and add front porch to legalize 2 sheds and 1 carport. The property is located at 303 Birch Road, Mahopac, and it's tax map 74.26-1-22. So the code requires or allows the addition the front yard is 25 feet, there's 9.6 being provided, a variance of 15.4 feet. For the addition also, rear yard requirement is 20 feet, and what's being provided is 5.7. Variance required of 14.3. For the shed, 10-foot rear is required, what's existing is 1.6 and 3.9. It's a corner lot here. So variance of 8.4 feet and 6.1 feet is being required. For the front on the shed, 25 feet is required, 15 feet is existing, I believe the shed's existing, and 10 feet variance is being sought. Also for the front, for the shed, 10-foot requirement, 3.2 feet is existing, so a variance of 6.8 feet. For the front, also 15 by 15, for the 15 by 15 shed, I'm sorry, I should have discerned that, is being provided is 21.6 feet, so variance of 3.4 feet. And for the carport, for the 25-foot frontage requirement, what's provided now is 1.5 feet, so variance of 23.5 feet is being sought. You got a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it.
A lot of shifts.
So, state your name and address.
Yes,
for the record.
good evening. Martin Stacegal. I'm from Architectural Visions. I'm representing the Estebayas tonight.
All right, raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, there's a lot existing, right?
Yes, there's a lot existing. So we were proposing an addition, and then when talking with Mike, he said there's a lot of things on here that are existing that, because it's a corner lot, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
we've got 2 fronts and 2 rears, and the existing sheds and carports interfere with the rear, what would have been a rear, but now it's a front and a rear, you know. So we're very close there. The existing, what's called metal shed, was actually an existing garage that was there, and then the other one, that's the 10 by 18 shed, that's actually a garage, and then the other one is a shed. And then the carport, as you can see in the photographs, is an open canopy structure there on top of a concrete slab.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, like I said.
Right, right.
What,
So,
what can we do to clean this up? I mean, do they need that much storage? 2 sheds, you got almost, like you said, the first metal shed's almost the size of a garage, as it is. Can we scale the other shed down? I mean, it'd be a lot more difficult to move that metal one, I think.
Right, you're talking about the 15 by 15 one next to
Yeah.
it?
And the carport,
The
too.
carport could move back at
The
least.
Yeah.
carport
We could
is-
probably move the carport back,
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks like it.
You have a, it looks like a door to a car in the backyard, too? There was
Oh, I don't know.
something in the
Okay.
back. I mean, it's a mess. That
Okay.
whole area is a mess.
Okay.
All right, well, I mean, we can't tell people what to have on their properties or not, but, yeah, it looks like there's definitely room for this, the carport to go back.
You got a
Sure.
few feet there,
Yeah.
5
Yeah,
feet.
at least 3, 4, it looks like from what I could tell here.
Yeah, to keep it on the concrete.
Keep it on the
That's a
concrete
concrete pad, right?
Right, right, we can slide it back a couple of feet.
All right, well, my professional estimate here, it looks like it's like 3 to 4 feet at least. So I'll move this thing as back as far as possible on the slab that's
I think,
existing.
that- you guys okay with that? Moving the
All right.
carport back? Taking the carport and moving it back closer to where the shed is? So right now, the carport's very close to the front property line, sliding it back like 3 or 4 feet, however far we can take that. Right, well, we haven't talked to that yet. Oh, okay. They can remove the 15 by 15 shed if.
They can
if you-
remove that shed?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we don't need to change the application, Mike, because it's going to a less restriction, right? So,
It's going to what?
to a lesser restriction.
Yes,
If you were
okay.
moving it, or should we do it just for, so it's on the record?
Well, they have to sign off on the application.
What are you moving it to?
They're gonna remove the middle
So
shed.
just pull it
completely.
off the application.
And then the carport.
Which
they're
shed is it, the 10 by 15?
The 15 by 15.
That's what I meant, I can't see.
Yep.
So it's a 25 front and a 10-foot rear. Both come off. Correct?
Carport.
Yes.
Yes, for the 15 by 15 shed.
So, yes, I would grab the original, cross them off, so you don't grant it, and then, sorry about that, I thought you meant they were going to a lesser number, meaning further out.
Well, the other thing we were discussing is the carport, pushing that back further on that existing concrete slab. So going from a variance of 23 and a half required, pushing that back another 3 to 4 feet, lessening the variance required.
About 19.5 feet you'd have there, variance.
Yep.
So you're going to move it to 5.5.
Yep.
4.5.
Hold on.
The shed isn't attached to the
5.5.
garage?
I'm sorry?
The shed isn't attached to the garage? It looks like it's,
It's built right up
it
against
looks
it.
like they're soldered together to me.
Yeah, fine.
I think it was built after the fact. So
Well,
I
one's
think it-
wood, one's metal, so you
Right.
can't solder that, but mechanically, take it apart.
No, I got it, you do that.
So carport goes to 5.5, 19.5,
Yep,
Okay.
Hold on. So 5.5,
19.5.
19.5.
The next two up get crossed out,
15 by 15 shed.
gone, they're taking it away, correct?
Yes.
shed to be removed.
And if Marty, you can initial that.
If you
Yeah.
would just come on up.
Sure.
Sign here. So I made
Should the
changes on the original application. Just sign it, so it should be removed.
Should the applicant sign it?
Well, he's the agent for the applicant.
What is this addition here? You have a two-story, and then you have a one-story in the front on,
Yes, okay.
what is that about?
So that's what we're starting to work with for the project, is the addition, and then these other variances came up for the existing. So it's addition to the house to allow for additional bedrooms in the house. Right now, there's a small bedroom back here. This is the line of the existing house here. This little small bedroom, which is now going to become a hallway to the addition. We're going to put one bedroom here on the first floor, and then there'll be a master suite on the second floor. So there's a roof area over this portion of the sunroom in the front, so.
Do you have a board on this? I was gonna
Not
ask you-
of the large scale.
Oh, you don't, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
just for the
let's-
benefit of the public.
Yeah, I don't have the large scale. So basically, this little portion here will have a second floor over it and then come out the 15 feet that we're coming out for the addition. This will be second floor here. This part will stay at that size.
But this part is going closer to the road?
Yes, it's coming out another 4 feet for the staircase. There's an existing basement that has a staircase in the deck. They have to lift a hatch to get down to the basement or do the laundry. So we're going to enclose that and become part of the addition, so we have the staircase from the house to get to the basement, and then that'll act as our staircase going up to the second floor addition.
So in the front, you'll have 9.6 feet.
Correct, correct. And then the 5.7 is the actual existing rear of the house,
Staying in line.
staying in line. And actually, at this point, it's 6.4 because the house is slightly skewed to the property line. So, but we left it as the 5.7, which is the most restrictive. But we will be in line with the 6.4.
That's sewer there, right? So you'll
Yes,
have
it's
to
sewer.
deal with,
So
Board
this
of
little
Health.
section here is gonna be only one story?
Correct.
And that's gonna be where the stairs are?
No, the stairs are actually right in this portion here. This is the front of, that's the front of the sunroom here. And that'll have access to the existing deck.
The existing deck in the back.
In the front, it's the front of the house because it, Birch Road, I'm considering the
Okay.
address, so it's the front, it's 2 front yards.
So it's gonna be right here,
Yeah, the existing deck is right here.
right here?
Yeah.
and go-
And the addition's going here. The deck is already there, it's
Oh, the
existing.
deck is already there?
Yes,
You
Yes.
can't see
on
it
this
from the-
picture.
Okay,
It's there.
so it's going on the deck,
The staircase is going on where the deck is
where
because
the deck is now?
right, because the stairs are actually cut out of the deck currently.
So you're not going further out than what already exists?
Correct. We're just bringing our addition to the line of the existing deck that's there.
Okay.
See, there's not a plan view where you see that from the street or from the side, so that's,
Yeah.
that's
I
just
see
trying
it.
to figure it out.
Any questions down here, fellas?
What's on the second floor now?
I'm sorry?
What's on the second floor now?
There is no second floor. There's
adding that on.
there's a cathedral ceiling in the living room. That's the space with the little dormer. So that little window up in the dormer actually lets light into the living room. There's like a little loft space over the bathroom and the one bedroom in the front there. That's just storage. It's not habitable space up there.
Okay, no questions.
Okay.
All right. Claudine, you good?
I'm good.
All right, any input from the public on
Thank
this
you.
application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Girls are very vocal tonight. All in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, application number 14, Anthony Nanetti for variation of section 156-15, seeking variance for permission to enclose a porch and add a new entry porch. The property is located at 171 Weber Hill Road, Carmel, New York. Tax map 65.16-1-31. Good evening. Joel representing? You're gonna have to lower that mic today, but
I'm short, I'm sorry.
He's shrinking.
name and
Well, that's what
address.
happens when you get to be 39.
We know who you are, but name and address for the record.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Your name and
oh,
address.
I'm sorry. Joel Greenberg, 2 Musket Road, North Mahopac.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I certainly do.
And your client, I presume?
Anthony Nanetti,
And what's your address, sir?
171 Weber Hill Road, Carmel, New York.
Raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. All right, Joel,
Okay,
bring us through
this
your
is-
application.
Pretty simple application. What's happening now?
Just speak it to the mic, Joel.
Yes, I always forget that. As you can see over here, there's an open porch over here, and what we're doing is, if you look at the plan, we're extending the 2 bedrooms so that'll come out to the end of the porch, but that will still be within the 40-foot setback for the front yard. So what happens now, the entrance is over here now, so that entrance now is going to be coming over here. It's a raised ranch, so what happens is we're going to come out over here, as you can see, right over here. We'll have a small porch and stairs coming down. But if you've been to the site, you'll remember that as the driveway comes up, it's a steep driveway, but there's a big, big stone wall here. So basically, as you're walking by, you won't even see this. But what happened is the staircase comes down now, so it's a nice entrance, and there'll be a small open but covered porch, so they can at least get to the door without getting wet or snow. And basically, the requirement is 40 feet. The little porch will come out about 10 feet, so the setback will be 30 feet, so there's a 10-foot variance that's required.
All right, so that's just a covered porch, it's not,
Oh, it's not enclosed, no.
it's not closed,
No.
okay. Just two columns in the front, I presume.
Correct, that's right.
All right, you talked to your neighbors?
Yeah, yes, he has, actually.
Talk to, you could grab that other mic and just turn it on, it's got a switch on it. Speak into it.
Yes, I talked to Reyes, my next door neighbor, and then we have Sinatra across the street. And the gentleman next to me that's been, he kind of hides in his, he thinks I'm crazy. I knocked on his door and I asked him through the door. Everyone's okay with it.
All right, no worries, they'd be here.
Yeah, no,
If they had opposition.
they're actually very good neighbors.
All right, good, there's no property you can buy to bring it into conformance, right?
No.
It's the front yard.
And just for the record, from the front of my house is actually 61 feet before, at the end. I didn't know that other
Yeah, your
footage.
property line
We
is.
didn't realize at the edge of the pavement, people, that was the problem.
Well, there's actually an old farm block wall that's 5 feet off the road. I thought that was all mine to there.
Yeah,
So,
it's usually the town.
It's a town right.
25 feet typically on a typical road is.
so 25 feet?
Yeah, from the
Okay,
center.
because that sounds,
Well,
yeah,
it's-
because it's like 61 feet from my foundation to the road.
road.
So there's, you guys, I guess 20 of that is.
So you have less property than what you thought.
Well, you guys, well, then I actually need to submit a
Don't
bill
complain,
because
you're
I've
not-
been, I've been
you're not
taking
paying
care of
for
your.
it. You're not paying taxes for it.
I've been paying for manure, the grass seed, and
So you're good. There's no other property you can buy, right?
No.
Bring it into conformance. Where's your septic? It's in the back? or-
way in the back.
It's in-
Because I'm actually on rock. That was built on rock by Toll Brothers and Vicario. And they said, they were talking about it too when I was doing this, because my septic, when I first moved in, they had to find it. It wasn't, it's back.
Wow, okay.
So I'm on
All
a
right, board
ledge.
members, any questions?
No question.
No questions.
What happens to that octagon window?
Well, do you want it? I can
John's
take it
gonna say,
down.
John, you
Who
want
wants to
it?
preserve it?
I'll take it. I can, listen, my wife hates it. She's like, can't we have a nice front door? Who builds this on the side? I was like, I actually went to school with the builder. I don't want to tell her that.
Gotta love it.
Is the closet, is that a true closet? Because it looks bigger than the bedroom, so I'm just curious.
Let me tell you something. My son's bedroom currently now is like 8 by 9. And it's just, I don't know, they're just small. They're small.
Small.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks good.
All right, any input from the public on this application? I'll look for a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close?
Do I have a second?
So moved. Saying it all along.
Second.
I need a second. You have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you, guys. All right, Joel, next one's
Judge
yours
the
too.
women.
So application of 728 Route 6 LLC for variation of section 156-15, seeking a use variance for permission to add 3 apartments over commercial mixed use. The property is located at 728 Route 6, Mahopac, New York, tax map 76.22-1-54. The code requires no apartments or allows no no apartments above commercial uses. What's provided is, or being sought, is 3 apartments over commercial mixed use. And variance being sought is the use variance required. So, Joel,
I have a
you're
little
sworn
handout.
in.
We have no financials?
Bring us
certainly
through.
do.
I was gonna say, we're supposed to have them in advance.
Oh, well, I apologize then.
All right, so I'll remind the public and on TV out there, for use variance, must prove all the following. Number 1, incapable of earning a reasonable return if used for any of the allowable uses. Amounts must be shown in dollars. Number 2, the property is affected by unique or at least highly uncommon circumstances. Number 3, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. And number 4, not be self-created. Here, I'll hand it out, Joel. Thank you. Okay, so yearly expenses are $152,500. Yearly income for 4 retail stores is $144,000. So a loss of $8,500 is what's being claimed here. Yearly income for 3 apartments, I mean, is this factual? Do we know?
Yes, these are actual numbers. And as far as the apartments are concerned, this would be the rental for the 3 apartments times 12, per month times 12.
Okay, so you're speaking to the financial burden. All right, what about the character of the neighborhood?
Okay, well, again, hold on. Okay, if you look at the building, this is a picture of the front of the building. What you see is exactly what you're going to get. The apartments, which I have a floor plan for, will be basically behind these dormers, so that the actual look of the building will be exactly the same as it has been, since Mr. Gu took the property over several years ago. So that's not going to change. As far as the character of the neighborhood, you have the skating rink right next door, and you have the condos just down the street, so that the character of the neighborhood will not change at all. Of course, I think the situation is, and as if you are aware, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, the master plan's been approved, but the zoning has not. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yeah, so basically, when the zoning is approved, this will actually become a permitted use. But we, obviously, town is taking its time, so that
we're
we know.
not at that point yet, unfortunately.
What's that?
We're not at that point yet.
I understand
It's
that.
been approved, but it
That's
hasn't
why
been-
they're here,
Hasn't
exactly.
been adopted yet, right?
The zoning code has not been approved yet because we have not finalized the public hearing, which will be on the 12th, 18th,
And then how-
18th of this month.
How much time beyond that?
If there are a lot of comments, they could have to change it again. I don't know what's going on exactly yet.
Okay.
They'd like to adopt it as soon as possible.
And there's no means of waiting until that time? I mean, it's not.
Well, we still have to go to the planning board. This is not just a one-stop shopping.
right.
And as you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, I believe that in the zoning section of the new master plan, it does call for apartments above retail stores, so
No,
that.
I get that. I know that's part of, but is that, this zone, particular zone is gonna encompass that? We don't know that.
I don't have the answer. I think it does, but I don't want to guess and be wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So anyway, we'd like to,
Hold me to it, but.
obviously, we'd like to get the project moving. As again, once this board adjudicates it, we'll have to go back to the planning board, so it's going to take several months.
All right, and there's no need for, like, law offices, or that would be permitted use there, correct, Mike?
Correct.
Or doctor's office, professional offices?
Well, if you look along Route 6, you'll see a lot of empty office space right now. And there is a need, these are small apartments for young couples, and I think this is something that will be a plus for the town and for the county. I mean, the number of apartments that are above retail stores are few and far between, and this is something that will be an asset to the community.
Is it new construction, or is?
Yes. The front will be the same, but you're right. In the back, that's where we'll add, there's a, way back where the catering was for the Lantern Pub, that area will have another floor over it to accommodate the apartments. But the front, this is what you see, and the front, that's exactly what it's going to look like. And I think it's, again, an asset to the community and something that we need.
There was some concern for parking. Is there enough, I mean, Mike, is there a parking calculation based on the amount of apartments versus the amount of commercial spots for each store?
There is, and I believe they comply, but they also have a variance from the Lantern Pub for 58 spots, I believe.
Something like that. But the new, as Michael said, the new uses will comply with the parking.
The Lantern Pub was the old tenant.
The Lantern Pub was the old
Was the
owner.
old
Remember that
landlord.
It was all one catering hall, I guess you called it?
It was a bar and a catering hall.
Bar and catering. So at the time when they did all their additions, they got a variance of, I don't remember the exact number, but it was up there. It was a big variance.
If you remember, John, I believe the capacity was well over 200 people. So obviously, they needed a lot of parking, much more than we need.
But there's not a lot of parking there.
Well, there's enough. Don't forget, these are mostly takeout is the stores, so you
Well,
basically.
two are.
Yeah.
So the two buildings or the restaurants on the interior, there's Eden.
There's Bella Cucina, which is.
Yeah, here.
out. There's the thing on the end, whatever that is. But then the
Vietnamese
Korean
and Korean
barbecue and
barbecue.
pho are Eden. You can take out, but they're Eden.
Mike, you gonna speak? You have something to say? You gotta state your name and address for the record, and I guess where you're in.
Okay, I live 168 East Lake, Borough 1, Mahopac.
Raise your right hand.
Okay.
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
I think from the lantern part, I think they have over, I think 250 seating there, I think, 280 seating there, yes. Okay, right now we have the Vietnamese restaurant, we only 46 seating there, and the Korean there right now.
There's 46 seats?
I think between 46
Well,
and
this is
50
booths
seating.
that you could fit 6 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you should go, it's nice.
And the Korean barbecue there, we like a 48 seating there. And the rest, the both store is a takeout.
Yeah.
No seating there. And we comparing with the before use, we much less. Okay, and for the seating space there, yeah.
Okay.
But we have the variant, 85, for the use for the 85 parking space, I say. All right.
So Mike, you would brought that up on the application if it didn't satisfy the count, yeah, parking.
Yeah, yeah, they're at the planning board currently. So they're going through the process. This is where we are now.
Okay, right.
So you have to build a second floor in order to accommodate these apartments, correct?
No, it's there already.
Well, no, the back portion has to be
No,
built.
the back
just
portion.
front.
Well, that back portion roof has to be raised, but it's not, it's a partial second floor that's there now, which is an attic, but all we have to do.
Speak to the
I'm
mic.
sorry, all we have to do basically is to wall it out so there's enough height for the second.
So it's a self-created hardship, isn't it?
No, but it's, what we're doing is something for the community. I look at it that way.
Well, you're creating the hardship.
Well, let's put it this way,
Am I
any
wrong?
use variance, isn't that, how can you,
If you don't have the space right now, it doesn't exist, the space, right? So you're creating space, so you are creating the problem.
but
I would think-
what's wrong, we're not, the space that we're creating, it does not violate any of the area, the setbacks or anything like that. If you're 100% correct, if that was the case, but
Joe?
you can build something.
It's not the space that's determinative, it's the use.
It's the use that's determining.
So if they put the space on the back and put lawyers in there, like you were saying before, they wouldn't need a variance.
Right.
Well, you'd still have to put the second floor on for,
But they
Whether
wouldn't
it's,
need a
whether
variance.
it's lawyers or apartments, it's the
That's
same
all
thing.
I'm
It's
not
the use.
arguing, I just,
So it's not the space per se, it's the actual use.
it's the actual
The
use of it.
misuse. Joel, I'm curious, without the parking variance, would you meet parking requirements with the added new use?
Yeah, but basically, there's 3 apartments, and according to the code, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's 2 spaces per apartment.
no, but he's asking, on the site itself, how many parking spaces do you have and how many
Oh.
parking spaces do you need? He's not asking if these.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. 34 parking spaces are required, I think we have 38, if I'm not mistaken.
Including the
It says
apartments.
37
Yes.
The restaurant?
on your
The-
plan.
This is both uses, the restaurants and the apartments. Yes,
The new proposed use will have 34.
I'm sorry?
The new proposed use will have 34, and you're allowed 38 right now currently.
No, we need 34, but we have 38.
Right, with
They
the.
don't
so
need
my
a variance
concern-
from the parking.
My concern was that he was piggybacking on the prior variance to
No.
shoehorn the use, but he's not.
No, that we're not. So in other words, as I said, 34 are required, and we have 38, so in effect, we have a few extra spaces.
Your plan says 37.
Oh, 37, I'm sorry.
Total parking
Right.
required.
Okay.
So 37 is for the 3 apartments and the 2 40-person restaurants and all the people that work there?
The requirement for the 3 restaurants and the apartments is 34. The actual count is 37, so we have 3 extra parking spaces.
And they will be required to put in the handicap and everything else that should be everywhere, right? That's
Yes,
part
of
your
course. And
your
also,
submission, which is nice.
which is a good situation, plus the fact, and we discussed this with the buildings, with Michael, and that we have 2 means of egress, so the apartments are safe. And obviously, as far as the fire codes, there'll be fire code sheetrock and things of that nature, so everyone's protected.
Their original plan had one stairway up to one apartment and one stairway up to two apartments.
Okay.
So I asked them to put a stairway up with a
There's a hallway
center.
in between, right?
Central Hall.
Central hall, so
And then-
this way you can get all the, if this is blocked, you go the other way.
You'll have
Everybody
smoke-
can
you'll
get
have
out.
smoke detectors and.
Oh, yeah,
fire
that's,
alarm, all
Everything.
that stuff.
everything's gonna be put in there, of course.
Carbon monoxide, everything, because there's
Yes.
gas in the restaurants.
Fire extinguishers. When are sprinklers coming? Most towns like down county, Westchester, residential.
That's right, for that fire, that was what, 10, 15 years ago, that's right.
All right, any more input from the board?
I have another question.
Sure.
On the financials, you indicate miscellaneous of 7,000 and repairs of 8,000. What's in the miscellaneous, and if it's a new building, what would you have for repairs for 8,000?
Well, again, things go, and I just put an approximate number as far as Mr. Gu told me what was possibility of happening. It could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less. And the repairs that, boilers break, things break, and things of that nature have to be replaced.
Well, that's
But that's
the
an annual.
4 tenants currently, plus,
Plus the future tenants, that's correct. So you're talking about four stores plus
plus
the
the
3
hardship
apartments.
based on what's current.
Correct.
Which is For restaurant type of tenants, right?
Yep.
What style of heat was that for the apartments? Is that an oil burner in there? or
No, that'll
High pressure gas, natural gas?
That'll probably be those Mitsubishi type units. Which one?
The to the apartment we going to be we put like a mini spray, like energy infusion for the
Split back.
yeah. So for the heating and the air conditioning, very safety.
So does everybody pay for their own heat
Well, it's,
now?
Yeah, store, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Stores, everybody pays for their own heat.
There's 4 meters currently for each tenant.
each tenant has their
Electric
own
meters.
electric meter, yes. And the same thing with the apartments, obviously. And to get to your question about boilers and stuff like that, these Mitsubishi units are all electric, so I think it's a lot safer.
Yeah, clean.
And clean, that's, clean,
Green,
good point,
green.
good point.
Joe Green.
Clean and green, how's that?
Anything else? Claudine, you good? All right, any input from the public on this application? Okay, what are you here for? Nothing? Just observing?
Did we entertain
I've
you
been
at
waiting
least?
for you to come up on one of these applications all night. All right, I'll look for a motion to close this hearing.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second, Will?
Second.
Yeah, there you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I just got to tell you one quick story, just to end the meeting. My brother had his graduation party at the
Lantern Pub.
yeah. So anyway, which of course is on the lake. So we're sitting out there. This is in June, obviously. And all of a sudden, I swear to God, this is probably 25, 30 years ago, a car comes out of the lake.
Out of where?
Out of the lake.
Yeah, it was,
Oh, yeah.
drove out, right?
The amphibious.
That's right. I mean, I had never seen
Jimmy
that before,
Flowers'
but,
house.
Yeah, it's a cool car.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It was quite a surprise.
There's one floating around out there.
Good stuff. All right, at this point, there's no input from the public on any application. Where's my agenda? Oh, it's hiding.
Minutes.
All right, we'll do the minutes next. So let's adjudicate the applicants here. Number 1 was held over. Number 2, Williams, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. All right, number 3, Gene Kusner. I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. Application for Claudia Rhodes.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second?
No discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 5, Guckian, John Guckian, I'll look for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, application number 6, we will not be adjudicating. We closed the public hearing on that one. Application number 7, Cole Partenza. Look for a motion.
Motion to grant?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That's granted. Number 8, Miller. I'll
And
look
that
for a
was-
motion.
Motion to grant, they're connected?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Granted. All right, application number 9, Brown. I'll
That's
look for a
motion to grant, where we change the variation. They provide 4 feet from the side for the shed, and then a 6-foot variance.
All right, do I have a second as that's noted?
Second.
Any discussions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's granted. Number 10, Carlos Cosme, for a motion.
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Granted. Number 11, D&J Eastlake Realty Corp. Do I have a motion?
Motion to grant.
Ladies first, so John, do I have a second?
I granted.
Second.
She said it at the
We
same
said
Oh,
time.
she did, I'm sorry,
That
second.
goes to the lady.
Yes, she does.
Seconded by
Can't
John.
hear. Seconded by
Discussion?
John.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Granted. All right, number 12, Jaramillo. I'll say that in my best Spanish accent. Do
pretty
I have a motion?
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, granted. Number 13, Estabaya. Do I have a motion with changes?
Motion to grant as amended, taking the 15 by 15 sheds out, those variances are out, and changing the carport to 5.5 feet provided and 19.5 feet variance required.
Second.
All right, I have a second on that. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's granted. Application number 14, Nanetti. Do I have a motion?
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And finally, application number 15, 728 Route 6, LLC. Do I have a motion?
Motion to grant.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Any discussion?
Does my personal opinion count?
No. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes from September 26, 2024. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept?
All right. Do I have a
Second.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we wish everyone happy holiday, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. Happy, I don't know what you celebrate, Mike, but same happy to you. And I'll look for motion to close this meeting.
Motion to close.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Good night.
That's a wrap.